React is a JavaScript library. At the heart of all React applications are components. A component is essentially a piece of user interface. So when building application with React, we build independent, isolated, and reusable components, and then compose them to build complex user interface. Every React application has at least one component which we refer as the root components. This component represents the internal application and contains other child components, so every React application is essentially a tree of components. In terms of implementation, a component is typically implemented as a JavaScript that has some state and render method. The state here is the data that we want to display when the component is rendered, and the render method is responsible for describing what the user interface should look like. The output of this render method is a React element, which is a simple plain JavaScript object that maps to a DOM element in memory. So React keeps a representation of the DOM in a memory, which will refer to a virtual DOM. It is cheap to create. When we change the state of the component, we get a new React element. React will then compare to this element and his children with the previous one. It figures out what it changes and then update a part of the real DOM to keep it in sync with the virtual DOM. In other words, we no longer have to write code in query and manipulate the DOM or attach event handlers to DOM element. We simply change the state of our components and React will automatically update DOM to match the state. This is why React is called, because when the state changes, React essentially reacts to the state change and updates the DOM. Now let's look into some of the application using React library.
How to the emoji search application process. So first, the system will get the emoji keyword from the user when they key in at the search bar. And then the system will search the keyword of the emoji. So if the keyword is matched with the user keyword, then it will print out all of the result of the emoji. But if the keyword do not match with the user keyword, then it will print out nothing. So for the emoji result, it will print out the emoji description, emoji image, and the emoji name. The user also can copy the emoji. So for the emoji result rows.js, this is the coding for the emoji rows of the main page. Now I'm going to demo emoji search application process. First, we can key the keyword of the emoji. For example, we key happy, then it will print out all of the emoji of the happy. Then we can click the emoji for copy and we can paste the emoji at here or at anywhere.
For the budget calculator, I am using the React library, React hooks. More specifically, is the React use state, the React use effect. The component for this budget calculator include a form. Within the form, there's going to be two inputs. One is for the charge and one is for the amount. Let's say we have a rent and the amount is 1000. We can add it here, and it is not limited to adding just one item, and all the data that we input is stored in the local storage. Through this example, we have two things. First is adding the item to the list, and the second, we have the alert where it successfully told the user that the item has been added to the list. If we didn't fill in anything in the charge and amount, the alert function will work again and shows that the charge cannot be empty value and the amount value has to be bigger than 0. Besides, we have also the edit function and the delete function. For the edit function, we can update maybe rename the charge and also update the amount. the submit button will also change to edit button. Once we click on the edit button, the bill will up to date and the total spending will also be calculated to the correct amount. And that's all for the budget calculator.
To-do list which use React.JS library. So this is basically the flowchart of the to-do list, and this is the interface of the to-do list app. First, we can enter the new task to the to-do list. Like we can enter reading. We'll click the add button. So it will show reading a book in this place. After that, we can add other new tasks to the list. Do guys watch movie, click the button, run cycling. It will show all tasks in this place. Then change the watch movie to watch television. We can click scroll and we can edit it. So it has changed to watch television, then we can edit the task. The last functionality of this app is we can delete the task. For example, we have done the task do exercise, then we can click this button and delete it from the list. Okay, so when we are entering a task, we will call a function called handle input, and we click add button, it will call add item function. During the add item, the current item object will be stored in a list of area. For delete function, we will use a property called filter. It will filter all the items that meet the condition that the key does not match and then store it in a variable called filter item. For edit the text, we will call setUpdate function. It will receive the value and the key. We will use map function to check if the item key is equal to the key that is provided in the function and change the text to text value.
The apps for calculate the BMI by using the React library. So first you need to enter the width and the height in cm and click the calculate button, and the result will show at below. So if you type wrongly, you can delete it. If you delete more than one report, if you want to undo, you only can undo the last one. So for this chart, if you record it every day, you can see the difference from the chart. So for the coding part, you need to import the file. So for the below part is the HTML part, but you can see that this line is different for other line because the React JavaScript is allow you to using this tag and encode the star into the component. So for this line is get the width, height and the calculate button. So when get the width and height, it convert the height to the meter and calculate the BMI. Then for the info part is display the details for the width, height, depth and BMI. And for this line is display the line chart. So import the file is important because if you did not import the file, you will get the error. Thank you for the part.